2017. Our next guest is nothing short of an inspiration, and his stylish work has won him several awards, including the ELLE Magazine Style Reporter and part of the Mail and Guardian 200 Young South Africans to Watch 2016 list. 24-year-old Themba Mbuyisa is a product of the Market Photo Workshop, who has participated in various exhibitions, one in London, twice in Brazil, Sao Paulo, and multiple of times in South Africa. The ELLE Magazine Style Reporter, creative contributor, joins us now to talk about his love of photography and his career. Themba, good morning. Thank you very much for joining me on Morning Live. Let's talk about this love affair with photography and where it began, because you grew up in Dobsonville, Soweto.
Yeah, that's where I grew up.
So talk about this love. When did you know that you loved pictures and you wanted to see the world through a lens?
I think like photography found me in a sense that I started BSc, but then like after doing my second year, I went back to what I was running away from, which is art, and making photographs was like sort of like a more fair like approach to it, to art as a whole. Yeah.
When you grow up and you identify photography, you said photography found you. How do you then articulate that conversation to people around you? Were there other photographers in your family, in your community? Was it easy to say, Mom, Dad, or guys,
No,
I want to do photography?
No. I don't think it was easy, because I was doing like BSc computer science, which is like really big in, compared to photography. And as you know, like as we grew up at the hood, the only photographer is that one guy that walks like around the streets with his camera and then photographing for like 10 rand a piece, you know. So then it was like a risky move that I took, because I had to like I sort of like had to explain more why I wanted to do photography and what it might bring into my life. And then I'm happy that it became like a success in that way.
So when you've now embarked on this career as a photographer, and then you get identified as somebody with great vision, great style, and eye for it. You then get named the 2016 ELLE Style Reporter Award, as well as the most influential visual artist of the year. What does that say to you about your work?
It means it's influential in a way. I think like at first you get to understand, if you study for something, you get to understand it far deeper than anyone else, you know. I thought that photography was just like pictures, but then photography is really about ideas, and how do you then translate those ideas into someone's lives, you know. And if they're able to articulate their lives through your ideas that you've presented to them, then you're bound to be successful in your field, you know. And I think it's about just enjoying what you do, really.
So when you won the 2016 ELLE Style Reporter Award, what was the first thing that went through your mind? Because most people scream like, yeah! What was your reaction?
I think I was calm. I needed to sleep first and then like wake up the next morning and celebrate, you know. I mean, like ELLE Magazine is like international.
It's a global,
magazine. Yeah, it's very global, and it's like it's the best-selling magazines in the world, you know. And to be part of that team was like amazing, and to know that I'll be contributing to the magazine and like I'd have a future in this magazine, like I didn't want any room for mistakes in a way. So yeah.
When you start getting picked up and people start seeing your potential, your value, does that automatically bring pressure?
There is a lot of pressure.
And how does that pressure come? Does it come overnight? Does it come the first time somebody says to you, we're watching you? When does the pressure turn on?
I think I know how to sustain pressure, like internally. But then like you get pressure when you're about to have a shoot, you know. So maybe like you're shooting a campaign, and then like all the clients are right there with you, and you have to produce work now, that final product. And then that's only like for most of the pressure. But then once you've done the work and once you've submitted to the client, then it becomes easier, because they're always happy in a way.
But where do you then go when you're talking about sustaining pressure and when you lead up to a shoot? Where do you go to find the next big creative element that you want to do? Because, you know, each work has to be very different from the last one.
Its own story. I think like most of my work is inspired by my daily life in a way, like my life experiences. I mean, like I think I live a lot, and then by living a lot, I get to explore a lot in my mind. And then if I bring those ideas into mind, and then they're always different. I mean, yeah.
So you win awards, and you know, a lot of people, some people talk about after I won the award, nothing changed for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people say we've won an award and everything changed.
Yeah, yeah.
What was your life like after you got picked up as the person to watch? You won the ELLE Style Reporter thingy, Visual Artist of the Year.
Yeah, yeah.
What then changed?
Sleepless nights.
Okay.
Yeah. I have like a lot of sleepless nights, and then sometimes I wake up at like 12, and then after sleeping at 10 after sleeping at 10 at night, and then I have to like sleep again at 6 to 7 just to make sure that I do all my work. It's a lot of pressure, but then if you love what you do, then you can't complain. I mean, like I think I get booked a lot, and I have to do the most from these opportunities that have been given to me, you know. And yeah, I mean, we all have dreams, and it's just like how we choose to live those dreams, you know. And
how did you sustain your dream? And maybe it comes back to growing up and eventually finding this love for photography. How do you sustain a dream? And there's a lot of young people out there that they are faced with real choices. It's the end of the year. They've got to choose what they want to study next year.
Yeah.
They've got to deal with issues where parents have an idea for them or where they see their life trajectory going. How were you able to stick to your dream, stay on plan, even though it wasn't a plan for your parents?
I think that my family is like really love. There's a lot of love in my family. Like I get to choose what I want to do, and I get to choose what I plan to do with my life, you know. And I chose going to vets at first. Then when that didn't work, I chose to go to photography. And the only thing that I got was support, you know. And
that was the difference.
I think that's what
it would have been
because
a lot harder had you tried to do something that they were vehemently against.
Yeah, I think that's like one of the mistakes that most of our parents do, like when they choose what they want us to do as kids, you know. I think that's like one of the mistakes that they do, and I'm happy that I got to choose what I wanted to do. And when you have like a choice in life, you have no one to blame at the end. You just like success only.
Where are you visually at the moment? Where, if you had to articulate where you are, where are you visually? Not only in your career, but in your personal space as well, visually.
I don't know. I'm just like in an unconscious mind right now. I get just exploring the medium's unconscious mind right now, and yeah, by the medium's unconscious mind, I mean like photography as a whole. I think I'm just there. I live life day by day. With like dreams for next year maybe.
I don't know if it's a hard question to ask, but yesterday we reflected on 20 years of our Constitution, the 20th anniversary of our Constitution. And one of the big questions we've asked is how young people interpret this Constitution. How do you reflect on 20 years of a Constitution that has fundamentally changed your existence? Yeah.
Funny enough, like 2 years ago, it was like 20 years of democracy. And I got approached by RD. They came to me, and then they featured me as like one of the most promising like South African photographers, and that was like 20 years of democracy. And what I said is that like through this democracy, I got to live my dream. I got to explore. I got to travel. I got to do things that I wouldn't normally do when I was like if it was like 20 years ago, you know. And now with the Constitution, I mean, you get to use your rights in a way that's like in a way that's better for you, and that's better for you. I don't know, going forward from where you are. And I think like it's a great space to be in, and you just have to take advantage of it in a good way, though.
Themba, thank you very much for joining us. Soweto-born photographer Themba Mbuyisa is the recipient of the 2016 ELLE Style Reporter Award, as well as Influential Visual Artist of the Year. The former Market Photo Workshop student was also nominated as part of the Mail and Guardian 200 Young South Africans to Watch in the 2016 list. I'm sure this young man is going to fly his flag for him and his family incredibly high, and for South Africa. Take it out, back anyway.